I have finally done it. After all these years of waiting patiently, I have finally completed Samina. I finally have a body to perform the ceremony. Who would have thought that the small town of Buryem would be the host to my upbringing? The question now is, has the transfer process finished? If it has, I should have my powers. Let me try one of them. I said. Well, I didn't say it. Lucif did. He snapped his fingers. A flame appeared between his thumb and pointer finger. Excellence, my powers still work. As soon as he said that, the flame disappeared. What? He tried to snap his fingers over and over again, but the flame wouldn't come back. I guess I don't have any powers. Well, that's just great. I wonder if I try to talk, if he can hear me. Hey, Lucif! What? What the? How did you do that? I don't know. Why did you make me this way, anyways? You're the only one stupid enough to listen to a voice in your head, so it's kind of your fault that you're in the current state you're in. How did you even get me in this state in the first place? Okay, let me think of a way to dumb it down for you. Do you remember when I was just a voice in your head? Anyways, the more you trusted and believed in me, the more real I became. When I was real enough to be able to interact with objects, that was the final step. I kicked your soul out of your body, and then I took your body. You're now what I was before I was anything. Just a voice. So, what are you going to do now that you're in control of a real body? What am I going to do? I'm going to start the ceremony to bring my whole self back to life. My true self. Since you started hearing my voice, you have been talking to a fragments of me. My full self has been banished, but when I use your body as a vessel, then I can combine my true self with your body, and then I can be reawoken once again. But before I do any of that, I need to get rid of you. Lucif touched his head and said the word Utrafdif. As soon as he said that, I felt the pain in every part of my body. His hand started to move away from his head. I started to move as well. He ripped me out of my body. And now to finish the job. He put his hands in a circle and aimed them at me. Insigly! Everything went black.
Dean, honey, wake up.
Dean, wake up.
You have to wake up.
Please, wake up.
Mom, Dad, I said. I opened my eyes, expecting to see them standing there smiling, telling me I had been in a coma or something, but all that greeted me was the darkness. Hello? Anyone there? I yelled, hoping for someone's voice to respond, but instead, it was just my voice echoing through the dark. I was completely alone. I stood up. I looked every which way, hoping to see something different, but everything looked the same. I decided to pick a direction and walk that way. I chose to go north. I started to walk. As soon as I took the first few steps, I started to fall. I slammed down into the invisible ground. Strange. I'm exactly where I was before. I started to walk again, but this time to the east. The same thing happened. Then I realized something. Each time I fell, I went to a different floor that was below. I went to the west. I fell again. There was one more direction. South. I walked to the south. Instead of falling, I went up. There was a flash of light. I opened my eyes. I was lying down on the floor of the secret garage. I got up and rubbed my eyes. I could move again. I looked outside. It was dark except for the flickering bright light that was a ways away from where I was. I heard the distant sound of a drum that sounded every 3 beats. I heard a horrifying laugh echo through the fields and into the woods. It was a version of my laugh. That must be where Lucif is, I said to myself. The question now is, how do I stop him? Then I remembered. Yeah, that's gonna work. I started to slowly sneak up to the light. Once I was near enough, I went into an army crawl position. I started to move. As I inched closer, I started to make out what was going on. The other me had made a big fire with a table in the middle. He was laughing and talking to himself. This was the best plan I have ever thought of, wouldn't you think? Yeah, you're a genius. Thank you. I know I am. Lucif began to chant. In the shadows deep where darkness dwells, a chance of fear the tale it tells. Awaken, O devil, from your slumber tight, unveil thy true self in eternal night. From the depths of hell you rise anew, with fiery eyes and heart so cruel. Unleash thy power, let chaos reign, as the world trembles in your dark domain. In the silent whispers of the moonlit hour, I summon thee with ancient power, the true self of evil, the embodiment of dread. Come forth, O devil, from the depths spread. Blackened wings unfurl as shadows dance, the symphony of terror, your malevolent trance. Grant me visions of nightmares untold, as your essence consumes in souls you hold. Through the vial of darkness I'm drawn into your might, thy true self revealed in this unholy rite. With each chant and incantation I invoke, the devil rises in flames and smoke. With the true self of the devil drawing nigh, beware, mortal souls, for the end is coming by. In the abyss the darkness forever dwells, embracing horrors as the world rebels. Thus I chant with my voice raised, to awaken the devil so deep and unfazed. May my words be heard in the realms below, as the true self of the devil begins to show. But heed this warning, ye who dare to speak this chant in summoned despair. For once unleashed, the devil is free to claim what it is for all eternity. He stopped his chant. I smell something or someone. He started to look around. Now was my chance. His back was turned. I started to move closer. I got a good look at the table. It was our kitchen table, with the pieces of my father and the banker scattered about. I noticed other body parts were sticking out of the fire. Must have been the police officers. I noticed my backpack sitting next to a wooden bench. I saw one of the guns sticking out of the opening. The unfortunate thing was, the backpack was across from me, and the grass I was crawling in was about to disappear. It must have been my imagination. Never mind that, I must continue the ritual. Shit, not more singing. Where was I? Oh, yes. In the realm where nightmares bleed, a chant emerges born of darkest need. It speaks of an awakening, a revelation dire, the rising of the devil's true self fueled by fire. From the depths of damnation where sin resides, there stirs a malevolence that none can hide. It slumbers in shadows, biding its time, awaiting the call of this forbidden rhyme. In a hushed whisper, the words take flight, a symphony of terror haunting the night. They echo through quarters of ancient lore, resonating with power down to the core. By the moon's pale glow and the serpent's hiss, I summon thee, O devil, from the ancient abyss. Awaken thy true self, let darkness ascend, bring forth the horror that knows no end. With each syllable uttered, the vial grows thin, as the chant weaves a web of forbidden sin. The fabric of reality begins to fray, revealing the devil's essence in shades of gray. Through cracks in the firmament, the shadows seep, a harbinger of chaos, a secret to keep. The devil's true form, a visage of dread, with eyes aflame and horns upon its head. From the depths of the netherworld it ascends, a being of malevolence where darkness never ends. Its laughter a symphony of torment and despair, as it wakens to claim what is rightfully its share. Beware all who partake in this forbidden verse, for the devil's true self is a curse. Its power is vast, its hunger abound, leaving destruction in its wake all around. Once unleashed, the devil cannot be contained, its wrath cannot be quelled, its havoc unrestrained. Through the night it prowls, seeking souls to claim, leaving a trail of darkness and torment in its name. So, heed this warning and think twice before you dare to invoke the chant and awaken the devil's snare. For the true self of evil, once it's set free, will haunt your every waking moment for eternity. He stopped his chant once again. Okay, it's not my imagination. There is someone here. I sense their presence. Ugh, all I had to do was sing the whole thing over again. Fine. I watched as they walked away from the fire. I got up on my knees and quickly made my way over to the backpack. I reached inside. There were 4 guns. I took each one out. I found my gun. I checked the clip. I still had bullets. I quickly placed the other guns back in the backpack and went backward into the grass. I watched as Lucif walked back to the fire. That's when I heard it. Sirens. A lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. Lucif turned to see where they were coming from. His back was towards me. I got up and went over to him. I pointed the barrel straight at his head and said, "Don't move!" So you made it. You've caught me off guard. Good for you. The sirens were closer now. Shut up. Why did you do this to me? You did this to yourself. No, I didn't. What are you going to do, Dean? Shoot me? I'm human now, so I would die. Come on, pull the trigger. Or are you just a coward? Come on, Dean. Okay, this is getting old. Listener, yeah, I mean you. Listen up. This has turned into a choose your own adventure. You have 2 options. It's up to you to click one of them. Hurry up, time is wasting.